the NdFeB channel? Checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, I am comparing the world-famous, world-renowned Peloton spin bike to this budget Amazon spin bike to help you decide, to help you determine what the pros and cons are of going budget versus breaking the bank and going with Peloton. If this is your first time to the channel, give the video a like and hit that red subscribe button. On this Dad's Home Gym series, I just usually review pieces of home gym equipment. And every once in a while, I do like to do comparisons because when people are trying to make their final purchasing decision, it's nice to know what the reality is versus the marketing smoke and mirrors. Now, obviously, Peloton, known worldwide for making excellent spin bikes. They're widely popular and they are beloved in part because people buy them and use them. A lot of times people will get cardio equipment for their home gym and it ends up being a clothing rack. But oftentimes when it comes to Peloton, people stick to using them regularly because they've got live classes. They are tied in to the internet and they require a membership service to access those live classes. But that live class, that feedback from the live class, knowing where you rank, getting that one-on-one interaction with the specific instructor allows people to find their niche, find their groove, and stick with it. And when it comes to home gym equipment, it's all about consistency and sticking with it. Oftentimes, again, people buy a lot of stuff they think they're going to use, and they never get down and use it, or at least a month into after owning it, they find that they don't use it as often, and a year later, it ends up being sold on Facebook Marketplace. So let's dive into the biggest difference when it comes to spin bikes, especially with regards to Peloton, is that cost. Cost is the number one factor people use when buying pieces of home gym equipment because, hey, it's not free and money doesn't grow on trees. Peloton, if you get their base unit, is $1,500. Now, obviously, they do have promotions from time to time, but $1,500 is a big chunk of change for a spin bike. Conversely, this Rav's magnetic spin bike that you can find on Amazon only costs $225, and that is a fraction of the price. Now, one of the things that Peloton does that is going to cost you extra money is that monthly subscription. The monthly subscription, I believe, is $39 per month, and I think that's a family subscription. So if your whole family was going to use the bike, that you would be able to, kind of maximize savings that way. But $39 a month times 12 months a year, that's $480 if we're just rounding up. And that is a pretty big chunk of change. However, you do get value for that. You do get a whole host of classes recorded live, a whole different type of tempo and scenes and the music to go along with it. When it comes to Peloton, I don't have to tell you what you get. You get the top of the top, the cream of the crop. But when it comes to this Rav's magnetic budget spin bike for only $225, what does it come with? I will tell you right away. It is a spin bike. It comes with a very comfortable seat. It comes with adjustments both in the handles and in the seat height and in the seat depth if you want to bring it in or bring it out. You can also adjust the resistance using this knob, and you get a display that will tell you your heart rate. It will tell you your revolutions per minute, your speed, your cadence, all that good stuff that you would want if you were going to be doing spinning. It also has a nice section right here to hold your phone or a tablet. A lot of people, what they will do is they'll get a spin bike, budget as it may be, and they end up just utilizing free apps or programs or even YouTube videos to get their own workouts in without paying that monthly subscription. As far as how good this feels, as I mentioned, the seat does feel extremely comfortable. Assembly was quite easy, and I'm 6'1" in height. I was able to get a very good height to ratio with regards to where I wanted my feet and my knees and my hips on this bicycle, and it had room to go higher. So if you are, I would say, under 6'5" or 6'6", you should have no problem finding the right a level for you. Unfortunately, when you do go budget, there are some serious trade-offs. Number one is with the handle. Now, I tighten this thing down as tight as possible without stripping the screws, and there's still some wiggle. There's still some give in that handle. Is it a deal breaker? No, you just need to be aware that when you go budget, there's gonna be trade-offs. As far as the overall stability of the bike, I will say that even though it looks fairly light and feels fairly light, once I got this level, it was absolutely very, very stable. One of the downsides I found with regards to this bike, and again, there's gonna be trade-offs, is the fact that I felt that I was really kind of forced into almost sliding down on the seat. Now, I felt comfortable while using it, but in some spin bikes that I have used in the past, you're able to kind of rest kind of sitting up and leaning back, and the way that this seat is positioned and the curve of the seat, it does tend to make you want to lean forward. So I found that sitting up and just moving my feet when I was doing like kind of like almost a resting position just was not comfortable and almost very difficult to do. Now, one of the biggest differentiators when it comes to a premium spin bike and this Rav budget magnetic spin bike is the pedals. Oftentimes, when you go to a spin cycle studio, you'll notice that the pedals do tend to have a basket here to clip your foot in and tighten it down. But on the flip side, they will also have clips for those who are wearing specific spin shoes. And that allows you to get work done when you're driving your foot down, but also when you're pulling your foot up. That is a more natural way to get a better workout while you're spinning. You end up getting more drive overall as your feet turn over, and it is just more standard for the premium spin classes, and people who are going to be spinning often tend to go out and get specific spin shoes or bicycling shoes, again, to clip into those pedals. I will say that the basket version allows you to get your foot snug, so you do have some resistance when you pull up. It's just not the same, and your foot loosens up after using this for a bit of time, because again, you're just kind of clamped down on it, and as you pull up more and more, it just becomes looser and looser. For most people who are only going to be using this as a stationary bike, these will do the trick. But again, if you're in love with spinning and you've got a pair of spinning shoes, this isn't going to be for you, and it is going to really be something that you want to avoid. Now, when it comes to Peloton, you know that thing can handle some serious spinning. That is made as a premium type of equipment. And again, the price tag matches that, and it's meant to be driven hard. Oftentimes when we do spin classes, we know that when you do a spin class, you have different levels of cadence, you have different positions in the seat with regards to standing up, sitting down, that whole 9 yards. I found on this bicycle when I used it that when I tried to stand up on this bicycle that I was getting a lot of like uneven movement in the pedals. It was almost like a hitch, almost like when I was pedaling, and it was noticeable. So I was not able to actually utilize this spin bike well when in the kind of standing position. So that was a major issue and a major detractor from this budget spin bike. Also, when I got to super high resistance on here, again, I did feel that hitch in the pedals. Between medium and low resistance on here, this thing was very smooth, buttery smooth and comfortable. It's just one of those things you have to be aware of. And now it's time. It is time for Fate of the Union, where I give you my final thoughts on this Rav magnetic spin bike and compare it to a Peloton bike and help you decide who this is right for. First and foremost, if you are 100% in on the spin bike scenario, you feel like that is your jam, you love doing spin and you want to do spin 5 days a week and you want to really get your money's worth, get yourself a Peloton bike and pay for the subscription. Of course, it's expensive, and of course that subscription really hurts, but you're going to use it and you're going to get the benefits from having that one-on-one kind of team atmosphere when you're in that spin class, and the bike itself will hold up, again, because you're paying that hefty price tag. If you are an average Joe Schmo and you just want something to kind of use as a piece of cardio equipment to lightly get some nice slow cardio in, move your feet, get the blood flowing, this is going to be great, especially at that $225 price tag. It's definitely made for the average or even below average user who might use this once or twice a week just to get that blood flowing and feel like they're using it as a stationary bike. I happen to think this makes for a very good stationary bike at that $225 price tag. it does not make for an excellent spin bike because, one, the pedals, you cannot clip in on these pedals as I previously mentioned, and you can't really do the standing position on here, which is known and used often during spin classes, just because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel comfortable when you're using it. You can clearly know that something is off with regards to you putting your weight down as you try to handle that standing position. If you came this far in the video, then you and I are officially best friends. Drop any questions you have in the comments below regarding Peloton, regarding this Rav's magnetic spin bike, or home gyms in general. Also, check out the Amazon affiliate link. See what the price is on this thing today. It does range, and I will say as of today that I'm shooting it, it's $225, but I do know this does dip even lower from time to time. That link does help out the channel, and it is appreciated. Also, hell, give the video a like and hit that subscribe button. You made it this far in the video, you might as well. You know you want to watch future content. And frankly, I want you to watch future content, so hit that subscribe button. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.